I'm Brittany.
And I'm Nicole.
And we're those girls. Welcome to episode 16 of our podcast. Today we are with Amy with
CRV Insurance. Yes.
I will definitely.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
We're just meeting for the first time today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I feel like we got same energy going.
Yeah.
Same business.
Absolutely.
We both know Fun Phil.
Yes, Phil. Lots of fun.
Our friend Phil from Guild Mortgage referred Amy to us. He's going to be on the podcast in a couple weeks, actually. He couldn't come today, so we have a great fill-in.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so just tell us a little bit about your company.
So I work for Carey Richmond Viking Insurance. We're based out of Newport, Rhode Island.
Okay.
I work all of Massachusetts, so that's my territory.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I'm here. They're there. I work everywhere in Mass, so there's not an area I don't cover. I live in Lakeville. My office is in Dartmouth.
Oh, nice.
I grew up on the South Shore, so I grew up like in this Bridgewater area.
Awesome.
And I am a total insurance geek. So
tell us.
What type of insurance do you do on the regular?
So I'm a little different than a normal agent. I'm an outside agent. So I'm always doing office visits for mortgage companies, real estate companies.
Cool.
I work with a lot of wealth management companies. I don't work an 8 to 5. I work.
Wait, does anyone work an 8 to 5?
Insurance agents tend to. I will say that insurance agents tend to. So when you need flood zones, quotes, whatever, I do them nights, weekends, everything like that.
You're just like us.
Yeah.
So we never
a
stop.
lot of insurance agents don't tend to do that.
Yeah.
They still tend to have a 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever scenario. So I'm different in that sense. But I spend a lot of my time going to offices, explaining insurance because most people have no idea.
Me.
No.
So I didn't before.
I don't own a home. I do them. I send them to you.
Yeah. So before I worked in insurance, I had no idea either.
Yeah.
So I spend most of my time explaining to people the ins and outs, especially to real estate agents, mortgage officers who don't really know like as much as maybe they'd like to. So that's the majority of my job.
Okay. That's awesome. So do you have a particular type of insurance that you like over another?
I focus mainly, I work with a lot of wealth management companies. So I work on a lot of portfolios, but also I work with tons of real estate agents.
Yep.
So mostly home. Auto, if it comes,
as a package.
If we're bundling it, a lot of umbrella insurance and inland marine, which is like your jewelry, guns,
cool,
art, everything.
I didn't even think of that. No, I don't have anything that's worth insuring. I don't even know why they insure my car, but
because legally you have to.
But like other than that, not for yours.
Yeah, exactly. So all those things that people don't think of normally.
Yeah. Interesting.
I spend my time explaining that to
so
everybody.
when I make millions, I'm just gonna come to you and you're gonna insure all my stuff.
I'm gonna make sure you're insured well.
I love that.
Yeah.
My shotguns and my Glocks. Is that like a gun thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I just want to see you go shopping for those.
I would, and I would not get a pink one. Absolutely not.
But it is really funny when women explain it to me. I'm always like, "Oh, okay. What kind of guns, do you have?" They're like, "I don't know. It's like this big."
Oh my god!
I'm just like, okay, well, I need all the information.
Right.
So, if you insure guns, jewelry, things like that, you always have to have appraisals.
Okay.
So
just like a house.
Just like a house.
Interesting.
So with that, now I have so many questions. So if you're gonna insure like a piece of jewelry, so like when you buy a house and you insure a house and that house is appraised, if you go to refinance, it has to be reappraised again sometimes.
Yes.
Is jewelry the same way? Like, do you have to reappraise it X amount of years?
Absolutely. So normally it's 3 years.
Oh,
that's a lot, actually.
It's a lot. I have a couple companies that it's every single year you have to get a new one, which is
so this is people that have like
crazy.
Serious stuff.
Not even. You could just have like your engagement ring, because jewelry inflates just like a house does, cars, like whatever, everything. So if your ring was worth $10,000 20 years ago, it's probably worth a lot more now.
Really?
So you want to make sure that
I thought that
if
stuff
you were
depreciated.
no, and not if it's appraised. If it's not appraised, then yes, you're going to get whatever they want to give you.
When I find this rich husband and he buys me this giant ring, get it appraised.
Get it appraised.
Cool.
So
then when I leave him and the value goes up, I have the ring.
You're good to go. And then you have an appraisal to go to a jewelry store with and be like, I want everything else.
Got
Here,
it.
I'll give you my ring.
Well, so do you have to have it appraised like the day you buy it? Or is it something you can just get appraised in the future?
Yeah. So normally you can do it with the company you bought it from. You can just reach out to them and say, hey, you never gave me an appraisal. Will you appraise it? Normally they do it for free. But if you go to a different jewelry store that you didn't purchase it from, they normally charge you.
And you just walk into any jewelry store and get in a.
Yep.
I'm learning so much.
This is great.
Now I need to buy jewelry that's worth something.
And it's really not bad to insure either. Like I just insured one lady's 3-carat diamond ring that I think was $15,000, and it cost $82 a year to insure it.
Oh, damn.
Which isn't bad, because if that stone
It's
fell
like
out, that
a
would
very
absolutely
small
stink for
amount
her. Yeah,
to have it
really not bad.
secure.
Mhm.
So if someone stole it, or it gets lost,
Or literally like
or
if mine,
breaks,
if I just hit it and then
it broke.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or if you lose it, if you were swimming, stone fell out, you lost it, it would be insured and covered.
I'm learning
This is like
so much.
Kardashian shit.
Right. Like, oh.
I feel like they must have like a serious insurance
Do you watch the
person.
Kardashians? Because
Of
when,
course.
you know, if Kim Kardashian lost your earring
Yes,
in
this
the
is what I was
ocean,
thinking about. And she freaked out.
That was insured. So I'm
So
sure
she could have
was
just get a
fine.
new pair.
Yes.
She didn't have to cry in the Maldives or wherever she was at this like,
Exactly.
crazy awesome resort.
Right.
She also got robbed.
My
Remember the
daughter
hotel
was just
thing?
in the Maldives last week.
Oh my God.
She
She
just
love
got
it?
married. Yeah.
Oh,
Super
congrats.
cool.
Thank you.
So you obviously went to the wedding?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, right. Okay.
Yes.
Just because they might have eloped. I don't know.
No.
But like, so did you like the Maldives? Because that's like bucket list
I
for
didn't
me.
go. She went for her
Oh, for
honeymoon.
honeymoon.
Oh, for the honeymoon. I thought the wedding was in
Right.
there.
Oh,
Okay.
God, no. But she went there, and it was
What'd she
like
say?
it was insane.
It's like bucket list for me.
Yeah. We're getting there.
My kids live the life I want.
That's what we hope for.
How many kids do you have?
3.
Very nice.
Yep, 27, 23, and 14.
Oh, I have 116. She's got a 7.
I have 7,
Yep.
and then I have bonus kids that are older that are 25 and 21. So
Very cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
it's never dull.
Not at all. Not at all. So tell me, what else do you want to know?
Oh, you were gonna tell us about flood insurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's something. So I have been doing mortgages since 21,
Okay.
and I have had one deal in 2.5 years that had flood insurance, and it was one of our most famous deals.
Yes, we've talked about that deal on the show. And I've been doing this since 2008, 2009 in the industry, and all of my flood insurance deals have been super relatively low maintenance.
Mhm.
Except when they redid all the FEMA maps a few years
Yes.
ago, we were having flood insurance come in like Brockton, like nowhere around water, and like astronomical quotes. So I'm curious to see where they are today.
So
And
flood insurance kind of rates differently. You have an X zone, which is like you're not required to carry flood insurance. An AE zone is rivers and lakes. So that could be why you're getting it in Brockton. That changed. When FEMA changed,
Mhm.
rivers and lakes became a larger part of flood insurance. Then a V zone, which is like your big coastal market, is like oceans.
Okay,
Cohasset, Situate, Plymouth.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours was Middleborough or
Bridgewater.
Ranger.
So it was
Bridgewater?
probably
it was
like
on one of
an
those little
AE
lakes.
zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Yeah, it was like a
lake.
little lake.
This was like a situation though where we had 3 borrowers on the loan. The DTI was like could go to 57. We were at 56.8.
Oh
And I
my
was very new to
gosh.
the business. It was actually our first deal. It's probably my 3rd deal as an LO. And then they slapped the flood insurance and it
Like
pushed
2
us
weeks
over. And I was
prior
like,
to-
no. I didn't know about this. So
Yeah,
now I
so
always
that
check.
happens to me all the time where,
Mhm.
someone will reach out to me and be like, I'd like to buy this house. And then I'm like, do you need flood insurance? Because it's in a flood zone. And they don't know. So a lot of times I tell loan officers, real estate agents, call me, text me, give me an address. I can pull if it's in the flood zone in 30 seconds.
Awesome. Yeah.
So that's a benefit of working like with an agent as well,
Mhm.
because you would like to know. And honestly, the other thing I was going to tell you, which is important, I'm sure that you guys probably don't know for flood insurance. If you have a pool and your pool lets go, that's not covered under your home insurance.
It is not. I know that because that happened to my ex-husband 2 summers ago, but it didn't flood like our home. It flooded the neighbor's home.
Does Mark know that about you just get
No,
pool?
and I'm not telling him that.
Oh, no.
We're not having that discussion.
So a lot of times I tell people, if you have a pool, you probably want flood insurance. It costs like $300 or $400 a year. It's not horrible. I'm here.
Interesting. No, it's okay. We just want to hear you. Your beautiful voice.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that is definitely a big thing. Another thing I always throw out there is that if you got an inch of flood water in your home,
Mhm.
the average damage is about $25,000.
So we had 12 inches in one of our houses last week that we closed on at final walkthrough. Look at her
pipe
face.
had let go.
Oh, but that's your normal homeowners.
Yeah.
You're good with that.
No, I was just
so that's
thinking of
okay.
like the damage level.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, there was damage.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
so
So 1
you're
inch of
going
water
to-
gives $25,000 worth
around
of damage.
on average $25,000 worth of
crazy.
damage.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why we always say, like, if you are in a coastal area, even if you don't require it, I get that some people don't want to do it, but it is smart. Like, I have a pool, I carry flood insurance, but I'm in insurance, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Right.
But I swear the amount of pools that break, especially above ground pools that end up giving out,
Yep.
it happens constantly.
It's good to know.
So it is something to like think
I'm
about.
learning so much today.
We love learning.
Absolutely.
That's
That's one of the
fun.
fun parts of, like I said, I love it.
Yeah.
Other people, my husband is always like, Amy, you're so boring with this. And I'm like, listen to what I learned today. This is
Yeah, but we like, so like I thought mortgages would be boring because I came from like event planning and bartending
right.
and then went to mortgages and I was like, I really need to make good money, but like I'm going to be bored. Absolutely not.
It's not at all.
It's like the most exciting. And I don't know if anybody who's not in it would understand it if I just talked
no.
about like, hey, guess what happened today? Like
no,
they'd be
no
like,
one understands it unless
"What?"
you're in the service industry like we're all in.
Yeah.
I think so as well. And like the cool part of what we do is that we're helping people too.
Mhm.
So when someone buys their first house, for
Absolutely.
you guys, it's like a first time home buyer, somebody who's struggling to buy a house. You know, they're 50 and they've worked their whole life. They're finally there. Or it's even
Right.
young people buying their first starter home. You
Yeah.
feel so fulfilled. Like when
Absolutely.
they end up.
yeah. So like last week, sorry. So
No, go
last
ahead.
week we closed, or 2 weeks ago, we closed on 2 first time home buyers that
Mhm.
were late 20s to 30s.
Mhm.
And then I just got an offer accepted last night, first time home buyer, but she's in her 60s.
So
And
you
she's like
never
so
know.
excited. And I love it because she's just like, this is like a new chapter in my life. Like I never thought I would own a home. She bought a condo. She's like wicked excited about it.
How cool is that?
And it's just like
right?
super cool to like, she realized that her rent was going to be as much as a mortgage. And she was like, why am I doing this? I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know. You're going to buy a house? And she's like,
Right.
yep. So she called me today and she was just like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I'm like, it's awesome.
Yeah. The other really cool part of what I do is that most people don't look at their insurance. So it renews every year and people just go on with the way it is. Or they think they have kids driving on their policy.
Oh,
They should be paying. out
we're
the
going to have to
nose.
talk.
But it isn't always that case. Like
She just got a permit.
Yeah. So
Mine.
last week I wrote this really nice family and they had 2 teenage boys and they were paying $8,000-9,000 a year.
What?
I requoted them and they ended
She
up
can't
paying,
drive.
well, no, like $3,500. So think of that.
So it was the company
swing.
they were with.
Yes.
Yes.
So when, your friends are out for drinks and like, oh my God, it's so expensive to have kids.
Yeah.
They think that number is relevant. They're like, oh yeah, that must be what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Not always.
They don't check. Yeah.
So yeah.
Huh.
yeah.
Question. Now we're
Yeah.
talking about cars.
Yeah.
Me and my daughter's dad were talking about her getting, she just got her permit. She just started driving with us. So we were talking about, because we don't actually know. Does she have to go on her insurance when she has a permit or when she has a license or
When she
both?
has
Or how
her-
does that work?
When she has her license. As soon as she gets licensed, you
Yep.
want to put her on your policy.
Okay. And what if like we both have a car? Does she go on both?
Yep.
So any car she's going to touch, she's got to go on the
Absolutely.
policy. Now, third question. This is just answering all my
If
questions.
anyone
This
has
is about
any
me today.
insurance questions, let us know. We'll ask Amy.
absolutely.
So what if, what if she has her own car?
Yeah, she'll go
Is
all
she
three.
still insured on all of the cars?
Yes.
So we normally recommend that if she has her own car,
Yep.
for it to go in her name and your name, because then
That's
you
what I
can put
figured.
it
Okay.
on your policy.
It'll be cheaper.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you put a young driver on a policy by herself, it's
Right.
going to be 3 times the cost it would be if you
That's what I
kept her on
figured.
your policy.
Good
But
to
you would
know.
have to keep your name on it.
Cool.
And she has to go as an authorized driver on every car she's allowed to drive.
Yes,
Within that
unless you
policy.
exclude her, which I never recommend.
Do you know
doing.
you're an authorized driver on my car insurance? Because when we went to Florida and rented that car, and I just saw it. When did we go? This just triggered me. I saw my. I was like, why in the actual F is Brittany on my car insurance now?
So
I had to add her as an authorized
if she
driver.
has a good driving record, she might be helping you. But if not, I would take Brittany off.
This is literally like 2 weeks ago. So we went to Florida like 6 months ago, maybe. And
This is our life.
I'll tell the story. It's a good story. So we went to Florida.
Oh
We
my
went
God.
to, where did we go?
So I went before. I went to see Tony Robbins
Yes.
for like 4 days.
In-
and she
Okay.
came down at the end and we were going to spend like 3 days just like vacation.
But where were we? Because that's where the
West
hurricane was.
Palm.
West Palm Beach. And
Yeah, it was
Hurricane Nicole was
November.
coming in the day that Nicole flew in.
Gotcha.
And I was there for like 3 hours and they were like canceling all the flights. And I was like, I just got here. I don't want to leave. So then we decided to rent a car.
Because my mother
And
lived.
drive
'cause-
home?
No, we
Oh,
thought of
no.
that. We thought of that. I'm gonna give you the whole story here. Oh God, we're getting really personal. I'm really
It's fine.
sorry.
This is what this is.
So I don't have a good relationship with my mom. Well, it's like it is what it is. Like anyway.
I
I
gotcha.
hadn't talked to her in 3 years. We were gonna drive home, but to rent the car to drive home was like
thousands of dollars.
$4,000, and we were like, yeah, we're not doing that.
What?
But it was also like because you weren't taking it to the same drop-off location. So if
Oh,
you're
okay.
gonna,
It charges you
it
like all this
charges
extra
all
stuff.
these
if
extra
you're not,
fees.
So
yeah.
expensive.
and so from like West Palm to Boston was like thousands of dollars.
Okay.
And it was like $1,500 a piece for us to change our flights, but they were canceling them and we didn't know if we'd get out. So I was like, oh, I have this really cool idea. Let's call my mother, who I haven't seen in 3 years, or talk to, who lives on the western half of the state, and
So
we'll
we
go
drove to
over
Sarasota.
there.
Yeah. So we just drove across to
It was-
Sarasota and sat in her pool for 3 days.
and then flew out of Sarasota
But
airport.
To boot, I realized the other day
was that good?
Yeah,
it was fun.
perfect
We had
amount
a
of time.
blast.
Okay.
It was like,
Patty and Jeff.
yeah,
We've already talked about them a bunch of times on here.
yeah, but like, so that, yeah, I forgot that.
So I got in a car accident and my premium went up.
Oh yeah.
And so I
Wait,
called
are you hurting my insurance?
it was a fender bender. It was that little fender bender. Anyway, I noticed my insurance went up. So I called my
maybe
girl.
You should keep her on there if she's
Yeah.
a driver.
And then I was
Just
like,
don't take her off.
I was like, why is Brittany on my insurance now? What is happening? Melded into one person. We're not a couple. So yeah, I just told you that today. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, she's on my
Oh.
insurance still. Should I have her removed?
Right, like, how does that
Only
work?
she's a bad driver.
I mean, not the best, not the worst.
I've only been in one accident.
It's just her driving record. If she has a clean
She
driving record,
does.
she's helping
did you?
you.
Yeah, no, I've been in one accident. That's the accident I took the 3 mailboxes out when I was like 15.
Oh.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
Right,
anymore.
like, and
Yep.
then, oh, this is the only thing that's weird. I'll ask you.
Yeah.
I had a car. I was living in Weymouth, so it was like 2012, 2013, and I had a rock that hit my window.
Yeah.
And so in order to get my sticker, they made me replace my window.
Mhm.
And I think I got points for replacing the window.
So that shouldn't happen.
Right, that's the only thing because I remember like questioning
But that it's
it.
only so things stay on there for 6 years and then they come off.
Oh, okay.
But you're good. I
So-
got a clean driving
You're
record.
good.
Yeah, then you're good. Like if it was last week, or if you get a ticket in an accident, then take her off.
Okay.
Unless you guys live in the same house.
No,
Not
we
Okay,
don't.
then you're fine.
Not yet.
If you
She
end
is
up
planning on
living
living in my
together, she has to
backyard
be
at some
there.
point.
Yeah, I'll call you for the tiny home insurance.
Okay.
Did you insure tiny homes?
Yeah, we insure.
That's like a big
everything.
thing right now, right?
Tiny homes, mobile homes,
Oh, mom.
Cool. Okay.
any home you can think of.
So what about like we've been talking about like those like home like everyone's transforming like homes and shipping containers into homes.
yes,
Is that like a legal home? Like,
yeah,
can you
so
insure
that would
it?
be
Yeah.
like a
Okay.
modular home. There's something called an E&S market, so it's like excess and surplus signs.
Yep.
Normally, it's for like Lloyd's of London, like those big private companies.
Mhm.
They insure everything.
Huh.
Good
So
to
if you
know.
ever have anything wonky, tiny homes, mobile homes, people who are making homes and buses,
That's my like ultimate dream.
that's where something like that
Yep,
would go.
I'm gonna do it.
Cool.
And
So
drive
you
all
do
over.
everything. That's awesome.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. We work with over 60 carriers,
Okay.
which is huge. So, like in your market, when you guys are looking for insurance quotes for companies, the mom and pop places are great. And I'm sure you guys know a lot of them, but normally they just have like 5 or 6 carriers.
Okay.
So their range is really small. So when you work with a company like us, I have 60 companies
That's a
that I run
lot.
it through. So that's why, like, for someone like Phil, it works really well because he's coastal down there in
Mhm.
Plymouth.
Oh, he probably gets a lot of
And-
flood.
Mhm.
Never thought about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you need something that would be less expensive, but you still want to be able to say it's like in that regional
Yeah.
market. So like I'm not giving you a quote for $3,000 for a home policy because it's right on the water.
Right.
which normally mom and pop small agencies will have to because they just don't have a reach. They're trying their best, but they normally just don't have a reach that they can do.
Brokers with mortgages.
We are
similar.
Broker.
Yeah, you're a broker.
It's the same exact thing. We just have a lot of options. So you can insure absolutely like, this is odd. We can insure your legs if you like your legs. We can insure.
I guess if you were like to OnlyFans people, like insure their body parts.
Well, yeah, like Heidi Klum insured.
Feet.
Yeah, she insures her legs.
That's a legit question.
People do all the time. I personally have never done it, but I do
wait,
know.
How many a year do you do where people are insuring their bodies?
That I haven't done.
You've never done?
I've never personally done, but I do know that.
So I'm gonna call you on Monday.
If that was like,
quote it out.
Yeah, if that was your money making.
I mean, if that's how you,
advice,
exactly. If that's how you make your money.
No, do you have to like prove that there's a reason why you are
there's
insuring?
value.
Yes, like there's value in it. So like some people do those like
God
feet pics on
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's literally what I was talking about. Yeah.
You would insure your feet.
Huh.
Because that is the way that you make
that's
money.
That's your income.
So I personally, like I said, have not done it, but it is there for a resource if you guys do it or you know somebody who wants to do it.
Interesting. All right. So what else?
When you're not doing insurance, what do you like to do?
My husband and I have a boat, so we go out on our boat all the time, which is really cool. And I do have 2 older kids, one that just got married, one lives in Boston. They actually both live in Boston, so we go in there a lot. And then I have a 14-year-old who plays basketball year round. So
fun.
Very nice.
I drive all over the place and do that.
Saying she's just traveling like AAU, all that.
Yes, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we spend the majority of our time doing.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where do you go out on the boat?
So we have Long Pond, which is right in Lakeville. So we go out there a lot. In Rochester, there's a place called Snippatuit, which is another lake in that area.
That lake, does it? And I'm going to ask it really weird because now, so I was driving, had a house in Acushnet and I was driving to Middleborough to do another showing.
Yep.
And I drove through Rochester and I don't go down there that often. And I literally went in between, like I was on this little sliver of a road for like 3 miles.
And did you have like the lake on either
both
side?
It was the most beautiful thing
that
I have seen in our area.
It's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
We go up to Maine a lot too. We rent a lot of houses, probably like 3 or 4 times a summer.
Oh, nice.
And then we go up there and, spend some time up there too.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I do with my time.
Very nice.
But I am always on for insurance. It's just like your industry, like even vacation, whatever. It just.
Even like Monday. So like I bartend too, like on the side, and I had worked like 10 days in a row between all the jobs.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I'm gonna take Monday off. She texted me at 2. She's like, how's your self-care day going? I'm like, well, been working since I stepped foot out of my bed at 8 a.m. and it has not stopped.
Yeah.
Which is what you want. We want to be busy. We were not busy. Let's be grateful. Very grateful for being busy.
And it's definitely picked up.
Oh my God.
You guys have seen like
last couple weeks
swing,
has been
right?
Yeah.
A boom.
I mean, the buyers are there.
Yes, they're coming.
Buyers are there. We can't get sellers to do anything. So we're,
In terms of what?
To get them to list. So we talk about a pre-pandemic market and we talk about a post-pandemic market.
Right.
So as of Monday, because that was May 1st, right?
Yep.
We have a little over 3,500 single-family homes on the market to choose from.
Okay.
May 1st of 2019, we had almost 11,000 homes to choose from.
Wow.
So we have a vast difference of what is available.
Okay.
So we've had a housing shortage here in between, I'd say from 2016 to now, and it's just been getting progressively worse, and the pandemic didn't help it. But the buyer demand is still there. So even if your home is sitting on the market right now for more than 7 days, you're probably overpriced. That's really what it comes down to is price, and a lot of it can be marketing of agents and things like that. But ultimately, it's price. And so what you see coming on the market is going so quick that we're not able to make the demand go down enough because we don't have enough inventory.
Gotcha.
So we're like literally begging sellers.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's insane. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So
let me ask you guys something. How do you guys feel about buyers waiving their inspections?
Don't do it.
Oh my God.
I'm so happy to hear that. That makes me so happy. That was another thing I was going to talk about too.
I would say most deals I've seen come through, they're waiving inspection. And it's just like.
So as an agent,
It's
Please
scary.
No.
Don't
I
let
won't-
them. It's not that expensive at the end of the day. Like I get there's X's and O's and everything.
So like for me, when I represent a seller, I always say that it is the buyer's right to have an inspection. And when I represent a buyer, I'm always like, it's your right to have an inspection. If you choose,
Right.
whatever you choose to do with that is up to you. There are many other ways to make your offer attractive without pulling those contingencies out and still get them accepted.
Right.
I will give a personal story. I've owned my own business since 2019. We had a flipping side of our business, and we've done some of those. And my husband is a general contractor, and we think we know everything. We do. We do. And up until this last house we just bought, that's our primary residence in September, we've had a third-party home inspector come in. And this time my husband was like, I'm going to do it. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yep, I'm going to do it. We thought that I had conversations. I'm like, hey, I'm not really super keen on the heating system. Agent swore up and down the heating system worked really well.
Yeah.
She was friends with the sellers. She knew them. She'd been in the house in the winter. Great. Close on September 16th. It's a Friday. I go to fill a mop bucket on Saturday because I have movers coming on Monday and we're doing some things really quick. No hot water. Called the oil company on Monday. They come out and they're like, where's the do not remove tag that we had on the system? The system's been like, it's been condemned for months. You cannot use it as a
They
fire
put like
hazard.
like a do not use on it. You
Like
have to get
there's
it
like
fixed.
it's cracked.
And then they took it. So
they
your
took it off.
oil tank was cracked?
No, the
or
actual boiler
on the inside.
in the end, and we didn't know. And so like
And they didn't disclose it?
they didn't disclose. No, they took the do not use tag off and then advertised the property for sale. Like I could have gone back on them, but like everyone needs a home inspection. Had we had a third party come in and take the cover off that they normally do, we would have caught it.
Right.
And so like even before that, I was like, everyone needs a home inspection. A seller needs to sell a safe house and a buyer needs to buy a safe house.
Right.
But like even after that, I'm like, no, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. I now make people, if they waive home inspections, sign a waiver that they know that they're waiving that aspect of it.
So on the insurance end, I would say most of the houses that end up with insurance claims problems are the ones that waive inspections.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Right.
Or they purchase their home insurance to buy the home, and then our inspectors come out and they find 15 things wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they can still do even if there is an inspection, like regardless, because the inspection is different. Right. But when you waive it, we just had a claim a couple of weeks ago where somebody waived an inspection, and the day after they closed, the oil tank gave out, and it was $60,000 worth of damage.
Not only that, though,
it's hazmat.
Then it becomes an EPA issue, and we've been having.
So you want to, and obviously during the pandemic, everyone waived inspections.
And that's happening right now. People are thinking to get their offer accepted, they have to waive inspection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like my daughter just bought her first home, and the real estate agent said that to her, just waive your inspection. I said, absolutely not.
You cannot tell people to waive their inspection. It is a law that you're entitled to have any inspection you want within the state. And it is an ethic violation to tell any buyer.
So she said, you can if you'd like to waive.
Yeah, but they're getting the message across. You should.
But
right.
Yeah, let me change my verbiage.
No.
But yeah, so I was like, absolutely not.
No.
Like,
and she was able to get
she
an accepted offer.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Awesome.
But just to make it, like you said, sound, better for the buyer. Well, we'll waive this. Like,
right.
You don't need
but
this.
Like, there's many other ways. So like, just because you have 10 days doesn't mean you have to use all 10 days.
Right.
We now, we have our list of home inspectors that we refer out. We have a list of 10 or 12 of them, but we have them on like a rotating call, like, hey, when can you come out? When you come out. So we're adding those in with our offers so that the buyers aren't having to waive that and risk. There's so much risk with waiving.
Mm-hmm. Another big thing that is different between an inspection that like you guys do for a home closing and then my inspection is if you have an inspector come out and they go, that roof looks great. And then the seller's like, it has like a 50-year warranty or whatever. Home insurance can't be written properly if a roof is over 25 years old. So even if you have a 50-year warranty on that roof, standard companies will not take your roof if it's over 25 years old.
Huh.
So
learning so much.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I know it's great to be like, this is a 50-year warranty, and that's wonderful and great. But when I say, how old is the roof? And they say, oh, it's 32 years old, then I have to put you with a different company. That's going to
Because
cost
it's higher
so
risk.
much more.
Money. Or, how old is your oil tank? Well, it's from 1972. That's an issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Has it been upgraded? No. Has it been changed?
Inspected? Anything?
No.
Yeah.
And when people don't know those things, and then a loss happens, you're risking a chance of it not being covered because it was written improperly.
Yeah.
So, not myself, but I had a friend in the business who sold a house. This was last year or the year before, and the oil tank went out, and it wasn't covered. And they were doing GoFundMes, and it was like huge EPA cleanups and things like that. So I heard that some insurance carriers are offering like an add-on for
So it's
oil
an
tanks.
endorsement.
An endorsement.
It's a limited escape fuel endorsement. So it gives you up to $50,000. It costs about $40 to $50 a year.
Oh, okay.
But it only goes up to 50 grand.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you there are some companies that may go up to 100.
Okay.
Depending on your carrier. But it definitely, if you have an oil tank, it's silly not to put it on.
Yeah.
Just absolutely
Big
silly.
expense.
And I know that some people choose not to because they need to get that insurance number within a sweet spot or whatever.
But add it on after.
But then we don't recommend doing
Oh,
that.
never mind.
But
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But the other thing we do is where we have so many companies to write with, normally we can get you there better than maybe some other companies do because
Good to
there's
know.
so many options.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been like super informative. We learned a lot.
Super informative.
Yeah.
Tell people where to find you, whatever information you want to give out, email, social media.
So my office line is 508-742-4565. My email is amymilligan@crvinsurance.com. And then I can give you guys my Facebook, Instagram,
Awesome.
everything if you guys want to link that up.
Post it.
But I am always available. And honestly, like I said, I could talk insurance all day long. I find it super
We appreciate it. We're so glad
Thank
you
you so
came and we
much.
met and hopefully talk to you again.
Yeah. We'll do
Great.
business soon.
Thanks so much.
All right. Episode 16.
Yeah.
Down and out.
Thank you guys.
Bye.